Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for a episode review for House of the Dragon Season 1 Episode 4 review that I finally got done watching just a few minutes ago. And yes, this is for House of the Dragon, uh, the new episode for Season 1 Episode 4 that I just got done watching. So I'm going to discuss what I watched for this hour and 2 minute episode and let you know my thoughts on it. Sorry, my neck was needed popping or whatever. Sorry if I did that. So let's dive into this episode review for this TV show review for House of the Dragon Season 1 Episode 4 review. Now, basically, this episode, in my personal opinion, was very boring and dull and very political again. It's another political episode. I'm like, oh my god, the script is just so washed up a bit. This one felt lazy. A lot more lazy than the second episode. And I'll give the second episode credit where it was due. Some of the political things were better utilized and a little bit better executed, but still had some boring moments. This one is by far probably very boring. Um, And the reason why I say that is because Rhaenyra has to wed a certain lord of the Narrows, Sir Lauren or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't fucking know. Um, he's at a certain house. But basically, what happens in this controversial stuff with the political side of things, Daemon basically uh, kind of violates Rhaenyra in a pretty fucked up way. That's what really happens, and it starts a lot of gossip and all that, and I'm like, oh my god, this episode. Uh, yeah, that was the most controversial part of the episode, and something that's not meant for kids to hear in this episode review and all that. That's what really happened in this episode. It was pretty messed up, but yeah, that I was just bored out of my mind with the political side of things with this episode, and it really bored me. Um, I was really disappointed with this one. I was hoping for a better utilized and better executed episode. There was an action scene at the beginning of it, but then that fades away where it gets to the more political stuff of the game, the House of the Dragon show, and they start bickering towards one another, and I'm like, really? And even Matt Smith playing as Daemon Targaryen couldn't even make this episode stand on 2 feet, meaning it just didn't do very good. So overall, I think episode 4 was boring. I don't recommend watching it, and it's a thumbs down for me, so it's a shame. And I hope this next episode, episode 5, I will keep watching it, but this one I found the most boring out of all of them and less entertaining. Yes, there was an action scene that's going to boost the rating up a bit, but the political side takes over too much with this show and its episode for episode 4. So, was very bored with this one, and there was basically some things happening in this episode where the ending was even boring too. I didn't get the ending either. I was like, okay. It was kind of like an okay moment. Like, seriously, whoever wrote this script for this episode didn't do very good. So, first score for me, I'm giving this episode 4 for season 1 of House of the Dragon a 5.5 out of 10. It was boring and very disappointing. It's a shame I have to give it a low rating because of how this episode's performance was. It didn't do very good. I was just bored out of my mind with this one. I'm like, yeah, we political side of things kind of gives it some moments where you have to understand which character is going to this point in the show and all that. I get that, but its performance did not do very well. So 5.5 out of 10. And some of the performances from the actors weren't terrible, but it just made it seem flat out unwatchable too. And a certain moment where it shows Rhaenyra and Daemon doing something really messed up. But yeah, that's what happened in this episode. So, with that being said, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the new episode for House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 4, if you've seen it. And if you enjoyed this House of the Dragon Season 1, Episode 4 review, I'm sorry I gave you a disappointing review. It's just, I was really bored with this episode. I was unentertained, and I was really disappointed with this one. I hope they can step it up a bit more in episode 5, because if not, this show is going to go downhill a lot more. So, I enjoyed episodes 1 and 3. Episode 2 was decent, and I could understand why they were doing what they did in that episode. And I can understand why they did what they did in this one, too, with the political side, but it makes it so entertaining and very underperformed. So, really disappointed with this one. 5.5 out of 10 for me. I will be returning to you for Reservation Dogs Season 1 review for the whole season. So, I'll give you my initial thoughts on that because I have been enjoying that show for sure. So, sorry I gave you a disappointing review. It's just my opinion at the end of the day. And I think the girl that played Rhaenyra does very well in this, but there was just some moments with certain plot lines and some scripts that they were reading that just felt underperformed. So this one I was bored with a lot more than the second episode. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed this episode 4 review for season 1 of House of the Dragon. Stay safe, take care guys, and as always I will see you in my next review.